Week 1 of the BUBL is here as the Thunderclap Titans are taking on Hoodcal and the recently rebranded Real Aquanids. With this being our first Draft League game in 8 months, there clearly was a lot of rust to brush off on. Thank you for having me today. I'll answer all questions with the utmost of honesty and sincerity.
When will you draft Walking Wake?
Except for that one.
Uzi, after all these months, what brought you back to Pokemon Draft League?
Great question. It's because I missed all of this. I thought I could have gone in a different direction since my hiatus when, in actuality, that roadmap is still not set yet. Especially when it was here all along. So here I am. Oh, and also because I wanted to compete in a season where I don't gotta imagine the frame rate. Next question.
Uzi, who are some of the competitors you're looking forward to facing this season, mate?
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of great people this season. But I'm especially looking forward to facing Playmore, Nexus, Vandy, and Lids. It's gonna be a good time.
But you're facing none of them.
Wait, what?
The main question for today, what do you think of your matchup against Cal?
I wish you didn't ask that.
Wait, what?
You know, it's one thing to come back after so long, and another to have your past look at you dead in the eye. This man didn't just choose the Pokemon I won last season with, no. He had to choose my defensive MVP. And if that's no better, he chose my Draft League mascot. Wait, isn't it Raging Bull? Shut up! I won't even have her to end these intros anymore.
So how do you plan on preparing against him?
Well, I have a good idea on how these pieces operate. And I got just the perfect Pokemon to deal with them. Last question.
After making 4 consecutive finals, winning 2 championships, Uzi, why do you still insist on people calling you an underdog?
Because there's one above me. Mirror Herb DARKRAI is a true difference maker and absolutely undefendable against Cal's squad. Especially when it can take advantage of his set of Pokemon in every capacity. It's bulky to guarantee longevity, and with this coverage, I'm guaranteed to mark his entire team. Overcloaked Palafin's no different, as this literally sets up on every Alamomola variant and can easily get out of hand if Cal's defensive countermeasures are either weakened or non-existent. Drain Punches for longevity and +1 Throat Chop is guaranteed to 2-shot his Sinistcha. As for support, Air Balloon Speedy Tinkaton exists to get up rocks, Encore is set of Pokemon to prevent sweeping, while also giving me a temporary out against his Crocodile. Pretty self-explanatory stuff. Zapdos exists to give us a permanent ground immunity, and with its great physical defense, I can check it more reliably, while also putting the pressure on most of his pieces as Cal Squad doesn't exactly want to switch into this Pokemon. Otherwise, it's a great pivot for bringing in my threats. Choice Scarfed Hisuian Zoroark exists as it gives me another speedy Pokemon not named DARKRAI, while also giving me the upside of outspeeding +2 Cloyster after Shell Smash unless it's max speed adamant to force a speed type, which I doubt it will be in the first place. This guy is great here to fool his pieces while also being a reliable check to his setup Sinistcha, weakened Kilowattrel, and much more. Lastly, we're bringing Terra Electric setup Rhyperior, which is another guaranteed breaker against Cal's squad. Overcloak gives me the same benefits that Palafin has, while also being an amazing check for his Terra Kilowattrel, which otherwise is a massive problem against my team. So yeah, that's the squad. If you're enjoying this video, please do subscribe as I'm on my way to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and I can only do that with all of your support. Huge shoutouts to my friends Amol, TJ, Omerta, Azuri, and the loyal Bandito for the help this week. Let's move on to the game. Okay folks, we are back right now, ready to go against our guy Hoodlum Callum, and he pretty much brought a lot of what I expected, but at the same time some Pokemon that I kind of feel like he would have been better off without bringing, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, like I think in general, I would want to lead off with my Yori Yagami because he has a very good matchup against the vast majority of his squad. And he also revealed to me that his Cloyster is Terra Electric while his Kilowattrel is Terra Water, which seems to be the likely play here considering that it would have to be his best check against Palafin over here. But yes, I pretty much said everything there is to say. It's really my first time playing a Switch 2 game. So yeah, let's see exactly how it goes and have fun to you, my brother. Alright, so he does lead off with his Gouging Fire as I lead off with my Pandoria, and turn 1, I think I'm just gonna attack him. I'm gonna straight up attack him, not even gonna think about it twice, and I will see exactly how he reacts to this. Like, his Gouging Fire is always a problem, that goes without saying, but greatly weakening him to the point of no return would most certainly help me out in terms of, you know, having my enabling not just my Palafin but a lot of my other offensive pieces. So there's that, you know. All right, I'm gonna. What the hell? All right. Okay, so now he knows exactly that this is a Hisuian Zoroark, but at the same time, I'm able to get a lot of good information up in terms of this thing very likely being a Assault Vest, because it doing the damage it did was pretty crazy, I'm gonna be completely honest. But yeah, I'm gonna bring out my Addison, which is most certainly not the ideal sequence here, but I mean, I'm definitely not staying in, first of all, because that would be a very silly believing thing to do. But honestly, good on him to lead off with this Pokemon, because it certainly does give me somewhat of a difficult time, per se. But yes, I am gonna bring in my Schnacky of all Donnies here, yes. Because the fact that this is very likely a Assault Vest Gouging Fire means that Stealth Rock is gonna greatly hinder this thing. And I need to make sure that I don't play reactive as much as I do with thinking turns ahead. So yeah, just something to keep in mind, I suppose. As Don Schnack is going to come on out. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's going to go for a Heat Crash. That's going to do absolutely nothing. Let's go. Oh yeah, and I also noticed that he did not bring his Sinistcha. The fact that he did not bring his Sinistcha is actually pretty good, because this certainly means that I have ways of being able to take down a lot of his, like, you know, enabling my Palafin to do more. I think in this sequence, I kinda want to set up a Swords Dance just to see exactly what his reaction could potentially be. But at the same time, you know what, let's set up a Swords Dance. Let's see what he does. Like, because I'm very curious. I'm very curious to see how his reaction to this thing is. Tough.
Oh no.
Yep, it's Crocodile. So I think I wouldn't say I messed up here at all, per se. But the fact that this is Intimidate leads me to believe that this thing is very likely going to be... It's very likely that it's not going to be Choice Scarf Moxie, because I feel like that's not necessarily a plausibility. But considering what I just did, I think he might be obligated of sorts to attack me. Alternatively, I guess what I could have done there was gone into my Tinkaton and get my rocks up, because then I feel like the pressure would have been on him then and there. I am kind of playing a bit too reactive right now. I should hopefully be fine. Come on, bro, you played Mox. Why are you playing so reactively for? But yeah, look at all these frames. She still feels so illegal and so uncanny. You know? He goes for a knockoff. What a demon. And I lose my boots, which is a bit unfortunate, I suppose, yes. A bit unfortunate. 235 though. Bro, run counts. Why don't you? Yeah, that looks to be adamant. That looks to be as adamant as it gets, yes. I think I'm gonna Hurricane. Okay, cool. I actually outspeed this thing, which is pretty great. That does nothing. What? Huh. Alright then. That is this thing a Assault Vest as well? That's wild. Although I guess I'm not entirely too surprised. It's a bit perplexing, but you know, the fact that I outsped this thing leads me to believe that I beat this thing 1v1. But also, again, the fact that I'm chipping this thing down is gonna greatly open up my Darkrai late game. So now I'm actually getting some understanding of what his overall style is here, because to him, he wants to have these defensive countermeasures for Darkrai as much available as possible, which is completely valid. But the fact that I'm getting, you know, this level of damage on his pieces, and the fact that they're not heavy duty booty and so on, makes it so that I can certainly take advantage of him in that specific vein. And I think I got a very nasty. I'm so sorry, Cal. Oh man, I'm so sorry, bro. That crit actually sucks, because now he's in range of Darkrai. Like, no ifs or buts about it. I'm really sorry about that, buddy. Genuinely. Alright, so I'm gonna bring Addison out, and the fact that I now have information of, you know, me being able to guaranteed outspeed him is actually really good. As he's gonna try to go for high horsepower, makes sense. But now, as of this moment in time, I will most certainly get my rocks up, which is certainly going to go a long way in putting him in trouble. But yeah, that was a very nasty crit there, bro. I'm really sorry about that, because, you know, otherwise he would have been able to have it take potentially an Ice Beam from Darkrai, because considering I don't really have much investment, you know, there in the first place. So yeah, and also this gives him another one less of an out against my Rhyperior, which is a very huge problem against him. So yeah, there's that. He's gonna swap out like I expected him to. Who's he gonna go out into is the question. And I believe, okay, so it's Poppy. Okay, so it's his Kilowattrel. Okay. What's his Kilowattrel Terra again? I think it's Terra Water. Terra Water makes sense. And I can't necessarily bring in my Rhyperior, so as of this moment in time, I am definitely going to have to go for a knockoff here, I think. And my Tinkaton is pretty tanky, so I can't say I'm sweating it too much. Okay, so it goes for a U-turn, breaks the breaks my balloon, which is completely valid. But again, I don't think it's necessarily the worst possible case scenario, like far from it, because what this is going to do is going to go to his Bullet. Who's Bullet? To his Corviknight, I see. As my Adon is going on, yep. Let's put this in the background. Hopefully you're not hearing it, but if you are, then it is what it is, right? But yeah, I'm gonna be able to knock off his helmet, which I think is really good. I think and I believe right now he's kind of forced into a position where he has to defog. And if I force the defog, that would give me a free switch into my Pandoria and would give me means of being able to go back to a good amount of HP. But then, as I go for a Roost, as he then goes out in his Cloyster, as he then U-turns and then potentially goes out to his Cloyster, that could potentially be rather annoying, wouldn't it? I'm just trying to think of a way where I just instantly put the pressure on him, as well as if there's much of a necessity towards keeping my big Zapdos healthy. And personally, I can't say there is at the moment, to be honest. You know what? Nah, discretion is the better part of valor. So I'm gonna go out into my big Zapdos. Like I said, folks, like it's been 6 months, so please forgive me for taking time to click my moves. I had a feeling. Actually, why did I do that? I could have just, click knocked off again and then, encored and all that sort of stuff. But to be honest, I think I'm just gonna hit you with a discharge, bro. And if I'm able to force him into a spot where he has to terrestrialize his, Cloyster, that just gives him one less out against my Palafin. So there's that. I was gonna go out into those. The question. Maybe that was not the play. Okay, yeah. I got a bit too aggro there because I really thought he was gonna click U-turn, but I was wrong. I was 100% wrong. All right, fair enough. The 68.8% chance to one-shot me, and if he makes the choice to terrestrialize into a water type and clicks Terra Blast, yeah, no, that was definitely a bit of an oopsie on my part. Definitely an oopsie. What am I doing, bruh? I need to terrestrialize my Rhyperior ASAP. I definitely need to terrestrialize my Rhyperior ASAP. So U-turns again, completely valid. But once again, the question is asked, who shall he go out into, my friend? Because again, I want rocks on his side of the field. If I do that, that just puts in so much instantaneous pressure against him. But I also am aware that if he goes out into his, the mouse and tries to set up, no, he's gonna go to his fruit. You know what? I'm not gonna even try, bro. So one way he could try to potentially get me here is by potentially doing a double. I'm gonna be completely honest, is very possible on his behalf, but is there a reason for me to, make that play right now is the question. And if you were to ask me that, my answer would be no. But yeah, like, I don't know. This has been a pretty awkward sequence so far, all things considered. No, he crashes again. Fair enough. But this is where I'm going to be able to terrestrialize, and I will be able to click Avalanche. Him terrestrializing his Kilowattrel will most certainly be irrelevant. And now that I think about it, maybe I should have just clicked Earthquake. Maybe that was the play. Maybe, plausibly, potentially, hypothetically. Look at Gouging Fire. This guy's tweaking. This Gouging Fire is always tweaking. I realized that as well when I drafted this thing. Who tough? Alright, cool. I think Crocodile is supposed to die. I don't have much investment, and Avalanche is like 60 base power unless he hits me. But I think you're supposed to die? Maybe? Please die, sir. Maybe okay, wait. Earthquake might have been the play then. Also, look at how good Rhyperior looks with the Terra. That's crazy. Alright, cool. He dies. No dramas, no dramas, no dramas. Right, so he took down his Crocodile, and again, I got really, really lucky there. I generally got very, very lucky there. So, you know, I'm sorry about that, bro. Because now he obviously lacks an Intimidator just as much as he lacks a substantial answer to my he lacks an answer now, plain and simple, to my Darkrai. He goes out in his Cloyster though. Okay. I mean, if you want to be that guy, there's a Darkrai with your name on it. Please, no, you know what? Please go for a Shell Smash. Please go for a Shell Smash. It would be the funniest thing in the world. Please, Woody, please. But I definitely do regret, you know, not being adamant about making sure Rock stayed on his side of the field, though. All right, come on out, Void. Please do me a favor. Please.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he goes for a Shell Smash. Nah. I'm sorry, my guy. I'm so sorry. Because unfortunately for you, Void does not comprehend all these stat boosts. Because what is yours now is mine. And I dream broken dreams. I'll make them come true. And as of now, the Void will make them for you. That's tough, though. Okay, you're Whiteheart, but it's irrelevant. Yeah, you being Whiteheart is irrelevant, bro, because Dark Pulse is just gonna mark you right now. That's +2. That's +2 Void right now. I got all the speed boost, and considering the fact that you happen to be Whiteheart yourself, I think I might sweep you right now. This is why I knew. This is why I knew from the get-go that, you know, having a Mirror Heart Pokemon, but not just that, that Pokemon being Darkrai in itself would be the absolute smoking gun, because this thing is such a massive haymaker. And considering the fact that his gouging fire is a bit chipped down, although not necessarily to the point of where I would like it to be, so maybe there's a chance for him to survive. I think there could be a chance for him to survive and face me out with that Dragon Tail, which would be unfortunate. But even so, the fact that this... Okay, so he's gonna try to preserve that, fair enough. What are you gonna sack is the question. It's crazy though, even with all these frames, like, this game still moves so slow. And that is because there's so much unnecessary input delay associated with it that it's just really unfortunate, I think. But considering the fact that he swapped out and the fact that Dark Pulse didn't kill, I think we can afford to get greedy here. Yeah, I think we can afford to actually get greedy here. Because how does he stop this? Genuinely tell me, how does he stop this? That's fair. But now I'm at +4. And I'm not sure if your gouging fire will be able to survive one. Rudian, yep. I'll be very surprised if you survive this. But, you know, it's still gouging fire. You never know. Alright, Dark Pulse Void, come on, knock him out. Oh my god. So it doesn't actually kill, huh? But Void still survives because I have a lot of HP investment. Alright, that's sick, that is sick. That is genuinely amazing in a lot of ways. This is another thing, folks. Darkrai is not a frail Pokemon. Darkrai is deceptively bulky, and depending on the investment that you choose to give it, that gives it much more scope in being able to take a lot of hits. Although I find it a bit contradictory when you consider the fact that if this was actually max special attack, I think this would have killed regardless. But it is what it is. Darkrai is gonna be able to survive. I do think Al should have Dragon-tailed here, considering he had that, but yeah, big Darkrai is gonna be able to survive that. And he also looks so good. Just look at these textures. I know it's crazy that I'm saying that in a Pokemon game, and well, for the most part, Scarlet and Violet doesn't really look like the best games, but like, these textures really do a lot in adding to it. Also, like, does Kilowattrel get quick attack? You know what, if he does, then my guy, you got me, all right? You got me. I mean, it's a Gen 1, it's a Gen 1 Pokemon. I mean, it's a Route 1 Pokemon. Is it a Route 1 Pokemon? I don't think, no, it's not a first route Pokemon. Draft player is actually playing the game. Okay, no, so unfortunately for him, he is not possessing the quick attack or any form of priority. Down goes the Kilowattrel, and I think this might be game, folks. I think this generally might be game, although, again, I'd be remiss to not acknowledge, you know, the luck that I was able to get on my side. But, yeah, I'm just gonna Dark Pulse again. Literally no reason to click anything else, as down goes the Cloyster, and his last two Pokemon are gonna be ones that are not gonna be able to take any hit, unfortunately. I wish I was Like, I really thought I would need Palafin and all of these things, but again, it really just comes down to the tech that I brought, and in a way, I kind of was saved if you think about it. Because the lack of special attack investment that I put in this made sure that this Corviknight was able to survive the Dark Pulse. So, I guess it all worked out. Huge shoutouts and thanks go to you, my guy Maverick Shooters, as down goes the Corviknight, and his last remaining Pokemon would have to be the name that I just recalled, which is a Chinchino, aka Estelle, aka Best Girl. Shout out to Trails in the Sky. Shout out to Trails of Vesperia, assuming my guy ended up playing that. But we're gonna go for one final Dark Pulse, and just like that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all kinds, the Thunderclap Titans have come back with a bang. The prep just worked out, folks. The prep just worked out, but again, I got very lucky with the U-turn crit. And also, if it was a roll to kill that Corviknight, that Dark Pulse, you know, not killing definitely mattered. So I'm really sorry about that, Cal. This was definitely far from a clean game, I think. And yeah, like, with this, we're starting off the season as #1 in the division. Huge shoutouts and GG's to my brother Cal. Please do check him out if you haven't, because he absolutely deserves it and he is truly one amazing friend. And also, if you want to see more from yours truly, please do subscribe to this channel. And of course, if you're not convinced yet about exactly what it is I'm capable of, feel free to check this out. I promise you, you will not regret it.